Welcome to another episode of Hair Biz Radio with your host, Zakiyrah and
Mikey.
Mikey has on a bucket hat today. This is actually my first time probably seeing Mikey in a bucket hat.
Actually, you know what? I've been wearing a bucket hat lately when I've been doing my walks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I got this SPF 50 bucket hat. Obviously, if you see me, you know, if you're watching the video version of this, I haven't been in the sun my whole life.
Wait, it's a bucket hat that has SPF 50 in it?
Yeah, so they make a lot of clothing now that has SPF built in, like SPF 50 to block the UV rays of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I have a SPF 50 bucket hat that I like to wear, and it's been working out pretty good.
I like it.
So then they, you know, I thought it would be interesting to make some bucket hats for the team. Like if they're
with
in the
SPF
showroom,
in them?
No, these are just normal. Just if the team didn't want to wear hair for a day or just feeling like, all right, I'm not feeling it today.
Yeah.
But doesn't want to wear necessarily a ball cap. We thought something kind of cutesy.
Yeah.
So the bucket hat, you know, it's a good branding item, which might be the topic of today's business.
I love it. Yeah. So let's dive right into it. So today's topic is going to be about how to increase your brand awareness. In your business. And these practices and principles can be translated across all different businesses, no matter if you're in the hair industry, if you're in the beauty industry, if you have any type of business, they're all transferable.
Branding is key.
Yes. I think branding is one of the top things that actually make the business move, that make sales happen. Like without branding, people don't really want to shop with you.
Right. I think what people need to also understand, the branding is not just the design.
Right.
And it's also the feeling people have about shopping with you.
The feeling, the messaging, all of that. And there's a difference between branding and marketing. Marketing and branding, although people use them interchangeably, they're very different. The marketing is going to be more, what are you, I'm going to use the word in the sentence as I'm explaining what it is. What are you doing to market your business? Like, what are you putting out to the audience? What are those things that are going to attract the audience to actually want to purchase what it is you're selling? The branding piece of it is the look, the feel, what it says, like portraying emotion. That's going to be messaging, all of that.
Right.
Yeah. So when building a hair business, what is the first step you would say in branding?
I think you have to get kind of a brand guide down.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, people know that it's you.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's good. Canva actually helps with this.
Yes.
You can build your brand guide in Canva.
Mm-hmm. And it's like typography. You have your colors.
Your colors, your fonts. And then, of course, you're going to have your logo.
Yep.
And shout out to private label branding if you guys need a logo for your hair business. Mm-hmm. Private label branding, $99 is a great way to get a professional logo. Because some of you guys' logos, if it has all this glitter and stuff flying around, please do not use that logo.
Right. That was like 5-10 years ago.
People were doing that. Like, chill out with that.
Yeah, people were doing it. Yeah. The other thing that is really important, I think, is the brand messaging. Because if you're talking to your audience in a way that they don't understand or in a way that's not genuine to you, you're doing something wrong. So you want to make sure that you literally create your buyer persona. What does my buyer look like? How much money do they make? Where do they shop? Where do they live? Do they have family? Like, you want to know down to the very nitty gritty as to who is the audience that you're looking to serve. Without that, I think you're kind of just like shooting in the dark. It's very much so like, I'm going to just put something out and see what happens.
And as important as your business brand is, now more than ever, your personal brand is important.
Absolutely.
So if you are the CEO and that CEO, if you're a one-man show, whatever, we all started a one-man show, right? You have to also think of the message that you're putting out personally. I want to get that out early in the episode, that it's important, because too many times, you know, I follow some hair brand owners and they're posting stuff on social media. All this emotion comes out and they're like, F this B and blah, 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 and da, da, da. And I'm just like, yo, chill out. Like, nobody cares that you're upset about this experience you had somewhere.
Yeah. The caveat to that is that there's people who actually will buy from that. Like, there's people who are like, I don't mind this type of authenticity is what some people may call it.
It is, but sometimes it's just a little much.
Yeah.
You know, so
I
just,
agree.
Just be a little careful, because that's a small segment that's going to be attracted to that.
Yeah.
You want to reach a broader segment.
Right. That's true.
So at some point you have to be a little bit more cautious about what you're posting on social media.
Absolutely.
And be a little bit more respectful and kind of, I don't want to say bland, you know, definitely stay true to yourself, but you don't need to put everything out there.
All your business.
All the business.
On the social. Yeah. I think another thing is that making sure that you're presentable. And so as we talk about brand guides and sticking with the brand guides, making sure that you look good. When you look good, people are attracted to it. It's just what it is. We're in 2024. Everything that I shop, wherever I go, I am looking at the website. I'm looking at the social media. I'm looking at the reviews. I'm looking at everything. Like, does this look aesthetically pleasing? Like, do I want to shop here? What's the customer service like? Like, I went to a nail salon today and walked right out because the customer service was terrible. It looked great in there, but it just wasn't the best. So I left. I was like, I'm going to go somewhere else. So it's just important to make sure that your brand is measuring up to who it is that you say you are and what you want your audience to actually expect out of you. Yeah.
Yeah. And going into that, like riding off that would be the consistency, brand consistency. So as you're starting to do Facebook, Instagram ads or TikTok ads, if you have one style and colors of your ad and then you go to the website and it's completely different, it's going to be a little off. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but it could work a lot better. If you actually look at the big brands who spend millions and millions of dollars on the science behind this stuff, you'll see how consistent their messaging and their look and feel is of their advertising. And then when you click over to the website to purchase, you will notice that it's very consistent. And you feel like you're in the same place. You don't feel like you clicked over and then you're like, wait a second, let me go back. Am I on the right website? Did I click the right ad? Because this looks completely different.
Yeah. I think it goes back to, we did an episode a while ago, and I think you should go back and listen to it. It was about branding, but it was a different type of branding we were discussing. But making sure that the appearance of what you're selling, how it's delivered, is really good. There are some companies that their website looks amazing, their brand messaging is great, their products look great, and then you get the products in the mail and they're shipped in like a cardboard box with maybe some of the little white foam things in there, and there's no like letter or no postcard or card in there. There's no cute like satin packaging, or there's really nothing that's like, oh, I was really looking forward to like opening up something that matched the brand, the front face of the brand. So making sure that from start to finish, you're able to add in the value that you're showcasing on the front end, on the back end. That way, when people are receiving your products, they feel it the whole way through from start to finish. And that goes back to the bags that Mikey mentioned for private labeling. Like, private label offers the custom silk bags. You can do the tags. You can send them in boxes, like custom boxes, but of course that is an additional charge and it costs a lot to actually ship them like that. But I do know companies that ship their products out in that, and you're paying for it. Like, you're going to pay a premium price to receive the whole works of everything that you actually are looking for as a client. So I think it's important to make sure that before you just jump out, yes, we want you to just start where you are, but make sure that you start something that you can keep up with, but at the same time that it's reflecting who you are and what your brand actually represents.
Yeah, it's also going to depend on your budget too.
Right. Yeah.
So I remember when Private Label first started our logo, I actually did that logo in 45 seconds.
In Canva, right? Yeah.
And then I ended up I got referral from somebody that is amazing at branding. They were actually out of Portugal.
Nice.
So we reached out to them, and that's when they created the original Private Label Extensions logo, which we eventually kind of cut out the extension, just made it Private Label.
It was the like cursive kind of font, right?
Yeah, it's the exact same logo as today. It's just we got rid of extensions and moved the X over.
Oh, this one. Okay, I'm thinking of the very first one you did in Canva.
It was the first one.
Yeah, it was a different font.
And that was a different font.
Yes.
And then we hired the team, but we couldn't do that initially because we didn't have the money.
Right. Yeah.
And we actually got a good deal on that branding setup with them. It was like a couple $1,000s for the whole package.
Yeah.
And it was well worth it because our logo today still looks the same. Looks amazing, and I'm very happy with it. You know, all brands, they go through brands that are, 20, 30, 40 years old, you can look at Apple and how their logo has changed over years. You can look at Instagram, how it slowly changes over years.
Yes.
So it's an evolution. But when you're first starting out in your hair business or beauty business, you might not have the funds to get all of the branding and packaging and everything you want done. For example, you were talking about the boxes.
Yeah.
Right. So you can custom make boxes. Places like Pack Lane are very popular.
Right.
And you can go on there and you can make boxes, and the more you buy, the cheaper it'll get. But it still could easily be $5 a box.
Right.
So you have to build that $5 into your product price if you're shipping everything in there.
Yeah.
Now, what if someone orders a lace tint that's $10? You're going to ship it in a $5 box?
Right.
You get stuck there. So you're going to have to, as time goes on, figure out what branding is going to work where. And to give you an example, actually, private label shipped everything very plain over the last 10 years because a lot of people buy it, stylists and other people.
Yeah.
But recently I said, guys, you know what? This year, let's start just slowly upgrading our branding and packaging. So our ponytails and clip-ins now have custom printed, the same bags that we sell at private label branding, the silky bags with the logo. We have those same bags, and it has the private label logo, and it's hashtag ponytail or hashtag clip-ins.
Oh, love it.
So that way, when you're taking the ponytail off at night or whenever you're going to stop wearing it, you can put it back in that silky bag and you have a place to hold it.
Yep.
So we're slowly transitioning that, but it still does cost money per bag to put it in there.
Yeah.
So you have to think of that, building that into your cost of your product, because you have your delivered cost of your product, and then what does it cost to ship with the extra packaging, maybe a free gift or other things that align with your branding.
Yeah. I think another segment of that is like websites. And I think that private label does offer hair websites for your hair brand that you can get that look very professional, slightly customizable, and they look great. But if you, like Mikey was saying, don't have a budget, you can do that on your own. Shopify has templates, WordPress has templates, but you want to make sure that it looks aesthetically pleasing. So even if you're utilizing a free template, you now have your logo that goes with your branding, the typography that you're going to use, the colors, all of that, incorporating that with your brand messaging, but making sure that your header image is sized properly. Like, you don't want to get on your website and you have this big, huge image that is covering half of the front screen. And then when you go to scroll down, it's like pixelated or things are kind of just all over the place. Like, even if you're working on a budget, you can still produce quality things that people will look at and say, oh, okay, I remember this brand, like when the evolution begins to happen. But you want to make sure that even your products like have great product photos that you can utilize and have great product descriptions. You want to just make sure that everything is in alignment with what you're looking for your brand to convey. That way, as you're getting new visitors to your site and even returning visitors, they're able to see, okay, this is the type of company that I want to shop with. Like, it doesn't have to be all bedazzly and everything added and having 12 tabs up there, but it does need to be clean, concise, fit into what your brand is, and showable.
I actually like that you talked about the product descriptions, because that's one of the first things I talk about in the Hair Business Masterclass is when you import the products from Dropship Beauty, we make it so easy. Like, it's almost too easy, but you still need to do the work. And one of the first things I say is, look, this is a generic product description. It's going to take a while because it's hundreds of products to update all of them. But you need to go back and rewrite the product descriptions and add your own brand's personality into the descriptions. And that's going to be part of your branding that you're doing for your website. And it's going to help convey that consistent message that you want to put out there.
Absolutely. I think if we go back to the original question, like, how important is branding in this industry? Like, what is the importance of it? I think that is very important. It's almost like vital. It's crucial that you think about branding, not just starting the business and getting the domain and having the logo done and putting stuff up on the website. Like, it's very important that you understand what your brand is, who your brand is, and who you're targeting as well.
Yeah, and I think that's something you should have written down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, have a guide, start writing all this kind of information down. I actually, if you go to hairbusinessblueprint.com, I actually have a hair business guide I think it's like $10 and you download it. It's like 50 pages and
Nice.
we go over some of this stuff and it kind of walks you through this whole thing. So we'll make sure that we put a link in the show notes that could be very, very valuable for anyone. Even if you've already started your business, maybe start going through and filling it out and getting some direction and having it down on paper and see what you need to change or update.
And that's good. Just $10 is like, purchase it for $10 and this can literally help you elevate your brand. Another thing that I was going to say is you mentioned Canva. There are brand guideline templates on Canva that you can go to and literally just plug and play.
Yeah,
literally.
Canva and actually education about branding. Canva has a ton of tutorials and videos and such, blog posts, tons of information. You can learn about branding. I'm not saying you need to spend countless, 40 hours a week learning about branding, but getting a little baseline of education about the subject is worth your time.
Definitely. And also YouTube University, I think it's Coursera. They have like free courses on there. Mikey has a course that the Hair Business Masterclass where you can learn about branding too, as well as marketing. There are a lot of different avenues that you can take to actually learn about branding and how you can incorporate that into your business. You just have to take the first step.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's other little things you can do for branding, right? So I'm thinking of something right now. So this that's sitting in front of our table, this is a great branding for Shopify. So Shopify took this out of the YouTube book of sending someone, the plaque, a milestone, right? So this is the 100,000 order milestone we got a couple years ago. And it's funny because Shopify actually reached out to me yesterday. I'm trying to get Zakiyrah to go to this event where it's going to be a bunch of who's who in e-commerce in Atlanta, venture capitalists, all these people in this event tonight. Free food, free drinks. I was like, okay. And actually, when she said the place, I read the place, like, wait a second. That's right down the street from me.
Your
I was
house,
like, boom, I'm there. RSVP me. And then I was like, oh, this is perfect for Zakiyrah as well. So, that kind of thing, that's a whole nother level of branding. When you're sending out these things to your clients, you're creating events branded around you. They partnered with MasterCard and some other people. So that's that's big time branding right there.
Yeah, it is definitely. And that's another part of branding, partnerships.
Right.
Yeah, you can definitely utilize, and we have an episode where we talked about building partnerships. I think I want to say we talked about like if you're a hair company partnering with a makeup artist, if you are a makeup artist partnering with a hair company, if you are like a private label partnering with Shopify, like there are so many different partnerships that you could create when it comes down to building your brand and also leveraging other people's brand to help you build your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. What we are going for. So we had Jennifer Williams on one of the previous episodes, and she has her own store now on private label.
Yes.
And that's kind of the pivot that we're working on right now. We're really utilizing a lot of our relationships and kind of like Amazon.
Yeah.
So I saw something because people were like, wait, well, how does this work? And I said, it was perfect. TMZ posted something. I'm sure it was paid. And it says, shop Paris Hilton's deals or something on Paris Hilton's Amazon shop.
Oh, yeah.
So I was saying, guys, this is like shop Jennifer Williams hair deals
on private label,
on her private label shop.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of what we're doing in a little bit of a pivot. So it's not just private label that we're known for, but we're actually creating stores within private label with different people. And that's a branding play for us because we can tap into Jennifer Williams' brand and other people we work with. And if you're somebody that has influence and a huge following and doesn't want to go on their own in the hair industry, please feel free to reach out to me, Moran Mikey.
But can make sales.
and we can talk about this brand. The way this is evolving, I'll have to show you after this, is looking really good.
Yeah. I think I love the pivot because at the beginning of private label extensions, we did a lot of the like influencer blogging, SEO, and never really had big faces in front of the brand.
Not for a decade.
Right. So this is a good pivot because it's giving access to a whole nother lane that, as we talked about before, business evolves. And so it's just one of those things where we have to go along with the evolution and create different avenues that will help build the brand a little more.
Absolutely. And I'll give you guys a tip. This is really important for the overall just staying in front of people and branding. Focusing on SEO, that can drive traffic to your website.
Yeah.
And then once traffic is on there, they're probably not going to buy because it's hard to convert somebody that doesn't know you. Is set up your retargeting audiences everywhere you can.
Yeah.
So we use Shopify audiences that connects us directly with TikTok, with Snapchat, with Google, with Facebook, Instagram, and there's other programs that do this. So basically staying in front of those people often. And then what happens is people will start searching your brand name. And then Google sees people searching your brand name. That means that you are more of an established brand, and Google, from an SEO perspective, will start to boost you up.
Yeah.
So I took a clip of Shakana talking about private label, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I run this?" She's like, "No, Mikey, do whatever." She's like, "You're amazing. You have an awesome private label bucket hat." And I started running this ad with Shakana talking about private label, and it's super funny. There was actually 2 clips I used, 2 clips, and it's really, really awesome.
On TikTok?
And it's running right now on Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to make a TikTok version and a Google version, or it's running on YouTube too. So like a pre-roll video, and it's just like, this is ridiculous. How much people are charging for hair? You need to shop private label, blah, blah, blah. And it's just funny because Shakana's hilarious. By the way, she is going to be back on the podcast.
Nice.
Reading some of the comments. It'll be a little different type of episode. There were some comments. Yeah. Actually, geez, a lot of actuallys today. The video that went super viral, where it's you start talking about shampooing the hair, it's like re-triggered going viral.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like it's all of a sudden, I just checked the IG and I was like, Jesus, what are all these likes? And it's that video's like somehow going re-viral. Instagram's algorithm.
It must have been reposted or something.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah. It's going crazy again.
It went crazy on Facebook. I saw.
Oh, yeah. Over 2 million views on Facebook. Yeah. We had a couple close to 2 million views.
Yeah.
Hair Biz Radio.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, so I think that branding is a great place to start when it comes to building your business, your brand, all of the above. I think because without branding, do you really have a business? Like if you don't brand your business.
Right.
Yeah, that's what helps you make money, generate revenue, create long-term partnerships, long-term customers that turn into clients, all of those things.
Yeah, speaking of, long-term partnerships and everything, the company that doesn't sponsor us, Built Basics, I am wearing one of their amazing, I think this is the 19th hole collection. I don't play golf because I can't be in the sun, but these shirts are amazing for travel if you're going to hot weather. Of course, wearing the pants and the shoes, underwear, it's all Built Basics. These shoes are fire.
From head to toe.
Let's see, I'll put it up. You can see the pants, the shoes. The shoes are fire. You didn't even know Built Basics had shoes until I just put it in your face right there. They reached down again.
And they want to send me clothes too.
And they said, maybe even send your co-host some clothes. And I said, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
But that's kind of one of those partnerships. We are in 2 different lanes, but we do have some similar client base.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. It would make that sense if they, sponsor us one day. But
absolutely.
We're working there. Check our Facebook page. Our reels are fire. Okay. We're getting there. But those kind of partnerships where it just makes sense.
Yes.
Even like a link exchange.
Yes, on the website.
So guys, once you get into SEO and start learning about SEO, is you need backlinks to your website. So I'm thinking of saying like, hey, I'll link from one of your pages, you link from one of your pages. Built Basics, they do really well actually. Private Label's website is still technically more powerful from an SEO perspective.
Period.
Like this. Okay. But I love Built Basics to death. Yeah. And there's a couple other brands I was thinking about reaching out to that would make sense to do that kind of partnership and whatnot. But that's also where the branding makes sense, where it is similar demographic, their fashion, we're hair and beauty. So it kind of you have the relevancy. If I was friends with a plumber, I don't need a link from a plumber's website.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. So as you're working with your branding too, think about where you're getting different links from. Yeah,
that's funny because a hair website getting a link from a plumbing website is like, wait a second.
Well, they try to sell this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do.
It's all about relevancy and that's staying on brand.
Right. Yeah, that goes back to branding as well. Yeah. So I would go back and check out. We have a few other episodes on Hair Biz Radio where we talk about branding, we talk about marketing, we talk about building your business, your your social media channels, all of that. So I would go back and listen to some of those episodes as information grows and we become more knowledgeable and we move with the trends and the times. We're updating episodes as we go. So just make sure you tap back into that, and then also check out some courses. Mikey has the Hair Business Masterclass, where he dives in a lot on branding, marketing, and some high level marketing stuff as well, right?
Absolutely. Everything.
Yeah. So make sure you check that out, and we will be back with another episode soon.
Later.